Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
COVID hotspots leaving health officials scrambling. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. Coming up, details of how vaccination efforts are squaring up.
Outside with live cam, very, very humid. We have a chance at a shower or a storm this week. We'll get an update on our chances here in South Texas. Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. It is April 12th.
Rise and shine. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hope you had a beautiful weekend. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. How was the Poteet Strawberry Festival?
Oh, it's awesome. A little windy in the morning on Saturday morning, but it was great overall.
Well, that front came through, blasted out that humidity and that heat we had on Friday. It was a fantastic weekend.
Yeah.
What's the week looking like ahead?
Well, we will get progressively cooler this week. You know, last week was definitely on the hot. Now, today's going to be hot, though. We'll be up around 90 again today. But the nice thing is, at least there's a chance of rain each and every day this week. Not necessarily a great chance, but it's there, and we're going to keep a lot of clouds around. Nothing really going on in this picture, looking off past the airport off to the west. We do have some hints of fog around the area. 7 miles visibility, Castroville, Bernie Stage, a little bit up around New Braunfels, and a bit more down to the southeast. We'll just have to kind of keep tabs on things to see if that gets a lot thicker. Doesn't look like it should get too awfully widespread, real thick, but just a couple little spots here and there. Yesterday, we started off in the low 50s, and today it's mid and upper 60s around much of the area and a bunch of humidity. It really came back with a vengeance overnight. Also, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, Oak, 40,500, and according to the lady we get our allergen readings from, said that is the highest that she's seen in 26 years. Yeah. So that's what you have to greet you as you head out today. And I was cutting my grass on Saturday. I mean, just all the dust everywhere and everything like that. 65 this morning. We stay fairly steady. Cloudy skies, patchy fog around the area, and then mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. 90, very warm and humid. Now, we do have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms in the hill country primarily, maybe on the strong side, potentially severe later on tonight. And then, like I said, those rain chances throughout the rest of the week. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Getting ready to hit the road on this Monday morning. Traffic Authority Samuel King. Good morning, sir. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was pretty good, Mike. Thank you very much. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone out there. Early this morning, we do have some construction on I-10 heading eastbound, so toward downtown San Antonio between Huebner and Wurzbach. So let's take a closer look at this here at the wall. And you can see definitely that the crews are still out there. So they're saying that these are alternating eastbound closures here through 5 o'clock. So about another half hour or so. We'll see how long they stay out here this morning. Again, this is between Huebner and Woodlawn. So this is eastbound or heading toward downtown San Antonio. A couple of other issues here and there as we look at the larger map across the area, including here on 35 at Pine. There's a stalled vehicle stalling a lane there. And then here on the northeast side, there is a crash not on 35, but very close on Randolph Boulevard. And we'll have another update coming up. Mark, Stephanie, over to you.
Thank you, Samuel. 2 Walmart stores have been given the all clear after receiving bomb threats on Sunday night. San Antonio police say the Walmart store is located at 1430 Austin Highway and the 2100 Southeast Loop 410 received the threats last night. But customers and employees were allowed back inside both stores. Police say dispatch initially received 2 calls on their non-emergency number stating that several explosive devices were set to explode at any given time at both stores. Officers arrived at both locations, set up a perimeter, and all employees and customers were evacuated. Bomb-sniffing dogs were also deployed at both stores to aid in that investigation. Officers say no explosive devices were found at either store and no injuries were reported.
Over the weekend, a record-breaking 4.6 million Americans were given the COVID-19 vaccine in just one day.
Deaths from the virus are also dropping, but a rise in cases is threatening a 4th wave of the pandemic. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
This morning, healthcare workers in Michigan overwhelmed. Hospital beds filling up with COVID patients quicker than staff can keep up.
The other day was 60 patients. There's 8 to 10 hour waits. We don't have enough nurses.
The situation rivaling the peak of last year. Michigan now the epicenter of the alarming rise in COVID cases across the country. The positivity rate, the highest it's been since April of last year.
It's breaking our hearts. We're exhausted emotionally. The things that we're seeing, our healthcare workers, they're suffering.
The Biden administration sending help to vaccinate more people in the state, but Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer pleading for more shots.
When there is a surge, we think that it's important that we rush in to meet where that need is.
Over the weekend, the U.S. vaccination effort shattering its previous record. 4.6 million Americans received a dose on Saturday alone. But this week, the U.S. anticipating a potentially devastating 85% drop in Johnson & Johnson's vaccine supply. This amid fears, though rare, that the variant found in South Africa could break through the Pfizer vaccine.
This is evidence that it may happen. We don't know the extent, but we still need to be careful.
In New York, after 72 days in the hospital battling the virus, Alfredo Hercules grateful to be home with his family.
You don't really know how much you'll miss something until it's taken away from you.
And 39 states have now expanded vaccine eligibility to people 16 years and older. 3 more expected to do the same this week. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Well, speaking of vaccines, back here at home, vaccine slots for the Doris Griffin Senior Center are filled, according to WellMed. However, they're opening more than 4,000 slots at their other location. You can now sign up for the Elvira Cisneros Senior Community Center off of Southwest Military Drive. They'll be distributing the Moderna vaccine to anyone 18 years or older. You can make an appointment by calling the number on your screen. That's 833-968-1745. That phone line is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. while slots are available.
And time now is 4:36 and it's about 67 degrees right now.
Still ahead on GMSA, the latest on a bipartisan effort by Democrats to work with Republicans on President Biden's infrastructure plan.
And a big win for the San Antonio Spurs last night thanks to a last-second shot by DeMar DeRozan. Highlights coming up.
Nice. And outside with live cam. Let's see how things are looking out there. Yeah, lots of humidity, a very mild start to our day. Hey, but that's spring, right? We'll get an update on our chance of a shower or storm coming up. Welcome back. Things have gotten worse at a volcano on the island of St. Vincent in the eastern Caribbean. Loud rumbling, lightning, and heavy ashfall could be seen over the weekend. The initial eruption forced many residents to evacuate their homes, though some have remained in place. Scientists warn the explosions could continue for days or even weeks. About 16,000 people have already had to flee their ash-covered communities.
With Congress returning to work today, the Senate Majority Leader is echoing President Biden's desire for a bipartisan infrastructure plan. Senator Chuck Schumer says he's hoping Republicans will collaborate on the president's plan, but he recognizes many Republicans may not want to pay for it by raising corporate income taxes. Senator Schumer would not provide a timeline for how long Democrats would wait for the Republicans to get on board, but he says he would like to, quote, give them a chance, unquote. In battle, Congressman Matt Gaetz was denied a meeting with former President Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago estate this past week. Now, according to sources, the Florida congressman, who's under investigation for sex trafficking, was turned away from meeting with the former president. Gaetz's speech at a conference for pro-Trump women Friday was seen as a blatant attempt to reach Trump and his supporters. Aides were suspicious of his last-minute addition to the event at the Trump National Doral Resort. The former president has issued only one statement about Gaetz since the sex trafficking inquiry became public at the beginning of April.
Spurs played the Mavericks last night. Dallas was going for the 3-game regular season sweep. Turned out to be a close one. DeMar DeRozan hit the tie-breaking 20-foot jumper with just 5 seconds left to play, giving him 27 of his 33 points in the second half, lifting the Spurs to a big 119-117 victory over the Mavericks Sunday night. After DeRozan shot, Dallas wasn't even close on a desperation 3 from near midcourt to beat the buzzer. DeJounte Murray also scored 25, helping the Spurs stop a season-long 5-game losing streak while avoiding the first season sweep by their Texas rival in the 41 history of the Dallas franchise. Mavs had won their first 2 previous meetings. Biggest lead for both teams was 9, with the Spurs having the edge after starting the fourth quarter on an 11-2 run. In the end, DeRozan also had 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Jakob Poeltl contributed 12 points and 8 rebounds. San Antonio is now 25-26. Up next, San Antonio's 4th game on a 5-game trip in Orlando. San Antonio held the Magic to a season-low scoring 104-77 victory about a month ago. Tonight's game tips off at 7 o'clock.
Nice to get a win in, though.
Yes, it is.
Go Spurs, go. Time now is 4:42 and 67 degrees.
Still ahead on GMSA this morning, a local woman using her passion for music to lead a unique program at Southside ISD.
Plus, there's good news if you're buying or selling a home right now. Coming up next, details on how you can learn some insider tips from the experts. And welcome back. It's 4:45. The pandemic fueling the soaring demand for homes and driving up prices at a rate not seen in 15 years. ABC's Becky Worley has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, red hot housing market. Home prices rising at their highest rate in 15 years, up 11.2%. And demand so intense that Redfin reports nearly half of homes are selling within a week of hitting the market. That's a record.
The market is crazy right now.
The spike, a result of the pandemic, as more people work from home, mortgage rates drop, and millions of millennials now enter their home buying years. $1 Million listing agent Tracy Tudor says despite the competition, now is the best time to buy a new home.
Because the interest rates are so historically low, know what you're getting into and make sure you secure that interest rate now because you will not find it again.
And whether you're a buyer or a seller, coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the insider tips you need to know. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
Learn your passion and stick with it. That's the message one Southside ISD music director who was inspired by that same message watching her father play Conjunto music growing up.
Our Japhanie Gray shares why this teacher wants her students to have that same encouragement. That's in this week's story of What's Up South Texas.
Test 1, 2. This is the music people like to hear and dance to. I'm very familiar with the arrangements. I know exactly how they're supposed to sound.
This is 63-year-old Ana Bustamante, and this is her Conjunto music program she started at Southside ISD in 2015, the only Conjunto school music program in all of San Antonio.
I enjoy being able to provide this opportunity for them and to make them understand. It's unique, it's special.
One of the things that makes this type of music unique, it features an accordion, something Ana grew up around.
My dad played the button accordion, my mom played the piano accordion. My mother grew up in a family of musicians, but my dad came in and he formed a conjunto with my mom's 3 brothers.
Conjunto music filled her home throughout her entire childhood.
The Gallardos, Juan, Jose, and Alfredo, they stayed together like 40 years, playing at weddings and quinceañeras and just all kinds of events, and there we were. They would practice in our house.
Eventually, that beautiful music sent Ana and her other siblings on a musical path themselves. She was heavily involved in mariachi and even started her own music ministry before ultimately teaching mariachi for Southside High School. But it was her students' interest in the accordion that revived her Conjunto memories of her father, Ambrosio Uriegas.
Oh, my dad used to play that song. And these young people are still playing the songs of so many years ago.
Ana says starting this program was in honor of her dad, and it has paid off.
It was his passion. Man, he would be like thrilled. You probably want to play with him if he was still alive.
She hopes the musical discipline her father taught her will inspire her students in the future.
In order to learn your skill, it's not going to happen overnight. And you need to be passionate about it.
For What's Up South Texas, I'm Japhanie Gray.
Let's see what's up on the roads.
Let's go ahead and check in with Samuel King. How was the weekend?
Good, Stephanie, and I'm sure you had fun at the festival and everything. And looking at the roads this morning, we still have this construction between Huebner and, boy, I forgot what I said earlier, Huebner and Wurzbach on I-10. Let's go ahead and go to the map so I can show you better what doing instead of trying to go off memory here, but you can still see the crews are still on the roads there. Again, between Huebner and Wurzbach heading toward downtown. Not too much of a delay right now, and that should be wrapping up here shortly, but they were doing some road work overnight here in this stretch of I-10, so that's something to keep in mind. Also, throughout the area, a couple of issues here. That accident or crash up here near on Randolph Boulevard should be clearing soon. This is still on the board as well, not impacting traffic too much, but we'll mention it. 35 northbound at Pine Street. Some lanes were blocked earlier because of a stalled vehicle. And we'll end on some good news. This is I-10 between 410 and 1604. TxDOT reports that most of this major project out here that's been going on has been completed. So most of the main lanes between 1604 and 410 have been cleared up. So that's good. There's still going to be some work there occasionally, and over the summer there's going to be some work right there at 410. But you might have noticed if you're driving the east side there that things are moving a bit faster right now, guys.
Thank you, Samuel. The oak levels are insane right now, but if you can handle being outside, there is a payoff like this.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, especially over the weekend. The oak shot up yesterday, but beautiful, beautiful weekend. We had low humidity around here. It was getting pretty warm if you were out in the direct sun, but yeah, it was just fantastic. And another great shot, Mr. McClellan. Thank you very much for that KSAT Connect picture. All right, everything looks pretty good. We do have a lot of clouds hanging around here this morning, and the humidity, dew point temperatures, again, these numbers are much, much higher. As a matter of fact, up 28 degrees, the dew point is compared to this time yesterday morning. The air was so dry out there, and that's what allowed temperatures to get down in the low 50s yesterday. Up 31 degrees compared to this time yesterday, 34 in Carrizo Springs. So just a ton of humidity out there this morning. Now, with the extra humidity around, that makes the atmosphere much more unstable, and there is a bit of a front which is going to be sliding on in our direction. And so later on this evening, the Storm Prediction Center does have the slight risk, the yellow area, and this includes Kerrville, Fredericksburg, heading down just about Uvalde, Eagle Pass, and that's for strong to severe storms. This is going to be later on this evening and then into tonight. And the marginal risk, the green area, just kind of right along northwest Bexar County. And that's for, again, some of these thunderstorms to basically produce high winds and some hail, isolated tornadoes. Yes, you can never completely discount that, but a very low chance for that. So here's what's going on with the computer model. We'll have a lot of clouds around today, some sunshine thrown in, and then later on this afternoon we start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms developing out there in portions of the hill country, and then they get going later on tonight and in the overnight hours and work their way on through here. So that's, again, the window of opportunity is going to be about dinner time up through, say, midnight or into the early morning hours, and we'll probably have a couple of sprinkly showers left over tomorrow morning as well, and then the chance for some rain throughout the day. It's not going to be constantly. Not everybody's going to be seeing rain, but at least we do have that rain chance each and every day, pretty much all week long. So that's the good news. And then also with that front moving through, that's going to tend to cool things down, and we'll get progressively cooler as the week rolls on. Today, different story though. Humidity and very hot temperatures, 82, mostly cloudy skies at noon, and going for 90 for a high temperature today. I mean, especially if you get a little bit of sun peeking through those clouds, it's really going to just, shoot temperatures up there. And then we will have the chance of rain later on tonight and in the overnight hours. And again, won't rain constantly. Not everybody's going to see rain, but there is the chance for showers and even a couple of thunderstorms. And then look at that, how temperatures just make a slow, steady decline. Will only be in the low 70s, maybe the upper 60s by Friday and Saturday.
That's more like spring, though.
Yeah, so complete flip-flop from the way we ended up last week and today.
So a quick recap, when's your severe weather threat? Slight overnight?
Slight to marginal risk from San Antonio out in the hill country from about dinner time into tonight.
Tonight, okay, got it. Thank you very much, Mike. 4:53 on your Monday morning, glad you're with us.
And coming up next, Godzilla and Kong continue their reign at the weekend box office.
Godzilla and Kong continue to be the driving force for movie sales as theaters slowly reopen.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Christopher Watson.
Sounds like we all agree there's no way Derek Chauvin walks away from this. Saturday Night Live's cold open this weekend took a look at how Black America and White America may be looking at the Derek Chauvin trial a bit differently. Kate McKinnon and Alex Moffat on one side, Keenan Thompson and Ego Wodum on the other on a fictional Minneapolis talk show, both sides insisting the evidence of guilt seems overwhelming. But as for convicting a former police officer...
Let's just say we've seen this movie before. Boom! It's Godzilla.
Another $13.4 million domestically for the big screen monster throwdown Godzilla vs. Kong over the weekend, bringing the two-week domestic total to $69.5 million. Nomadland director Chloe Zhao is now the second woman and the first woman of color to win the Directors Guild of America's top honor. And happy birthday, David Letterman, 74 Monday. And that's what's happening at Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
About 3 minutes till. We're in the upper 60s.
And still ahead on GMSA, the latest on the St. Vincent volcano emergency where thousands have had to flee their homes.
Transform and roll out. We'll show you Hasbro's new Optimus Prime that can transform itself but carries a hefty price tag. Details are ahead in Tech Bites.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A late-night blaze near Somerset destroys not one, but 4 homes. We have the latest in a live report coming up.
Conditions have gotten worse at a volcano on the eastern Caribbean island of St. Vincent as people there are forced to evacuate their homes.
Outside with live cam, Mike says there's a chance of an overnight shower or storm. Well, the details coming up as we kick off the work week. Good morning to you. It is Monday, the 12th of April.
Thanks for joining us this morning. I hope you had a great weekend. I had a lot of fun. I got to go to the Strawberry Festival and the weather was great.
Yes, Rooney and Stephanie were the grand marshals of the Poteet Strawberry Festival Parade.
Yeah, thanks for having me. She had a lot of fun. I did too.
Look forward to seeing some pictures. Right now, it is the top of the hour. Mike is here with an update on how our Monday is shaping up.
Very, very humid. Just read, by the way, 40 years ago today was the first launch of the space shuttle.
Oh, fantastic.
Columbia. John Young and Robert Crippen were the commander and pilot of that. I remember that very well when it went up there. All right, a lot of humidity. Boy, it has changed completely from what we had over the weekend. Temperature right now is at 67 degrees. We're about 15 degrees warmer than what it was at this time yesterday. And look at that bottom number of 62. Gets above 60, you feel it. And we're going to be getting really hot again today. We hit the upper 80s yesterday, upper 80s, close to 90 later on, and plenty of humidity. So you'll definitely feel that humidity. But things are going to be changing this week. The aquifer dropped down 0.2 of a foot, and the allergens, oak, that is the highest that it has been in about 26 years, 40,500. Any salvation, mold is on the low side. Got a couple of patches of fog around here. There's a slight breeze this morning, so fog I don't think is going to be a huge issue, but just one or two little spots right around, say, Castroville, up in Kerrville, maybe a hint in New Braunfels, and then Beeville, though, has a lot of thick fog at just a half-mile visibility. So we'll just kind of watch out for this. So warm, humid, patchy fog around the area, and then mostly cloudy skies. Again, warm, or call it hot and humid later on today with those temperatures in the upper 80s, close to 90. Now tonight, there's going to be a few showers and thunderstorms, and I have the word west in there, mainly out northwest into the hill country. We will see a few of them here in town, or at least a chance of it, but some of those could be on the strong to potentially severe side in the hill country. I'll show you that coming up in just a couple of minutes. And then the rest of the week, we are going to get progressively cooler, and we really can't rule out a couple of showers or thunderstorms each and every week. Won't rain constantly, but at least there is that chance for some rain this week, which is some good news. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic authorities, Samuel King, what is going on, sir?
Good morning, Mike, and good morning to you out there. There's only one major thing that appears on the roadways right now, and that's this construction here in San Antonio on I-10 eastbound or heading downtown. This is the view from Huebner, and this construction actually runs from Huebner to down to Wurzbach, heading eastbound there. You can still see some crews there and the cones. So watch out for this. This should be clearing up here shortly. But wanted to show you this on the map. You're down to 49 miles per hour. So you're looking at the travel time if you're coming in on I-10 from Bernie. Generally looks good, 24 minutes all the way in. But again, around between Huebner and Wurzbach, that's going to slow you down a little bit, 13 minutes. Looking at some other travel times from across the area, 19 minutes coming in on US 90 from Castroville, 26 minutes on 35 from New Braunfels, 17 minutes from Lytle. Lytle area, and 29 minutes coming in on I-10 from Seguin. And we'll have another update coming up shortly, guys.
Thank you, Samuel. A trail of destruction left behind in one neighborhood just south of Somerset.
Fire crews were called out to FM 476 at J&M Lane last night to find houses and vehicles damaged after a massive fire. Stephen Cavazos is live in Atascosa County this morning. Now, Stephen, what can you tell us about the damage?
Mark, Stephanie, we actually drove out here to Atascosa County this morning, hoping to show our viewers some of the damage that was left behind. But as you can see, it's still too dark this morning. And this is actually in a rural part of the county. But what we can tell you is that at least 4 homes and 9 vehicles were damaged. Now, according to a fire marshal with Atascosa County, this all started just before 9 last night. Fire crews from Devine, Lytle, JPSA, Lackland, Windcrest, Atascosa, and Bexar County were all on the scene. Now, we're told that this started because of an unauthorized burn. However, the estimated damage is still not clear, but we know right now that at least 3 of those homes were deemed a total loss. Now, thankfully, Mark, Stephanie, no injuries were reported as a result of this massive fire here in Atascosa County. However, it's still unclear if the person or persons responsible behind that unauthorized burn will face any charges. We have already reached out to the Atascosa County Fire Marshal's office for more information, so stay with us here at KSAT as we bring you the latest. But for now, reporting live this morning, Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News. Mark, Stephanie.
All right, thank you, Stephen. This morning, San Antonio police trying to figure out what led up to a shooting on I-35 that ended near the intersection of AT&T Parkway and Belgium last night. This happened around 9 p.m. and investigators say that 2 vehicles traveling south on I-35 were exchanging gunfire on the highway. That's when the driver of one of the vehicles was hit, leading him to pull off onto AT&T Parkway. The other vehicle kept on 35. The driver who was hit was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. Another passenger who was with him was not hurt. Another vehicle, person inside the vehicle, was also hit by gunfire, but no one in that vehicle was hurt either.
Now to the volcano emergency in the Caribbean, just hours after a major power outage on St. Vincent.
The island is bracing for more eruptions while trying to safely evacuate residents during a pandemic. Here's ABC's Megan Tevrizian.
This morning, thousands of people expected to evacuate St. Vincent. At least 3 cruise ships are ready to serve as emergency shelters. The Caribbean island looking like a battle zone.
This is the sky.
The eruption of the La Sofria volcano Friday pumped clouds of ash 6 miles into the air, forcing 18,000 people to leave their homes.
We don't know how much more is going to come out, but it is venting. It's coming out. So far, we have done well in that nobody gets injured, nobody is dead.
More than 3,200 people now in shelters.
I am scared. I'm just hoping for the best so that everything can be over.
The volcano setting off tremors over the weekend, some lasting 20 minutes.
Given the previous eruptions, they've lasted 6 months to a year. And this is the long-term span of the eruption, but in terms of the worst, the worst of it, could be days to weeks.
And now a massive cleanup in neighboring Barbados.
It's raining like a mud, like ash and water combined.
The Prime Minister asking people to stay inside and wear a mask if venturing out.
We're going to fight this with sense, common sense. It may need a few cents and dollars too, but the first thing that we need is common sense.
There you go.
Roughly 100,000 people live in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The last time the volcano erupted in 1979, it caused nearly $100 million in damages. Megan Tevrizian, ABC News, San Diego.
And happening this week, you only have a few more days to make sure your vehicle registration is renewed. The temporary waiver granting the suspension ends this Wednesday. According to the DMV, law enforcement may begin issuing citations to those without updated registration stickers. There is not a grace period after the deadline. For a link to renew your registration online, you can head to KSAT.com.
Right now it's 5:08 on your Monday morning.
And still ahead, details on why Google has decided to shut down its shopping app.
You can ditch the kale and replace it with kelp and seaweed. Just ahead, the new health trends claiming to keep you healthy and fit.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we are at a humid 67 degrees right now. but hopefully that will pay off for some rain, and we think it will. We're going to check in with Mike soon.
Plant-based burgers, CBD, and low-calorie alcohol made big splashes in 2020.
But what are the newest foods and fads making headlines, and how are they impacting our waistlines? Max Massey has a new health trends you need to know about.
Move over, kale. Kelp is the latest food trend. Not only is it packed with vitamin B and calcium, but it is also great for the environment. It requires no fertilizer to grow and helps keep water clean by removing nutrients that causes algae blooms. Microgreens, also a trend to be on the lookout for. These multicolored baby counterparts of plants like carrots and broccoli, they can have up to 40 times the amount of nutrients of their mature counterparts. And you've probably heard of probiotics, but what about postbiotics? They are essentially the waste products of probiotics. Postbiotics are being looked into for anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits and the ability to boost the immune system. Postbiotics can be found in sauerkraut, sourdough bread, kimchi, a new buzzword for those trying to give up their nightly cocktail, mocktails. Adaptogens are calming herbal pharmaceuticals that counteract the effects of stress on the body. They naturally help you unwind at the end of a hard day.
Cheers.
Foods that are environmentally friendly are expected to make a big impact in 2021. Food production accounts for a quarter of greenhouse gas emissions. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
So a kelp salad.
No.
Okay.
I was just barely, learning how to like kale. Like,
I
now
understand.
you put this there.
We'll baby step it, okay?
Okay, I can handle that.
5:14 now, upper 60s.
And still ahead, details on Microsoft's talks to acquire an artificial intelligence firm whose speech recognition tech helped develop Apple's Siri virtual assistant.
We'll show you this new transformer toy that can transform itself, but it's going to cost you a lot of money.
My new normal? Fewer asthma attacks with Nucala, a once-monthly add-on injection for severe eosinophilic asthma. Nucala reduces eosinophils, a key cause of severe asthma.
Nucala is not for sudden breathing problems. Allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for swelling of face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Infections that can cause shingles have occurred. Don't stop steroids unless told by your doctor. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection. May cause headache, injection site reactions, back pain, and fatigue. Ask your doctor about Nucala.
Find your new normal with Nucala.
Fight fleas and ticks with Seresto. 8 months continuous protection against fleas and ticks. It's effective, convenient. Seresto. Keep playing. More on Seresto.com.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein.
Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health.
Google is shutting down its mobile shopping app within the next few weeks. ABC's Mona Kasar Abdi has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, say goodbye to Google's mobile shopping app. The app is going dark for Apple and Android, but not until June. The app allows users to make purchases from thousands of online stores using their Google accounts. The web version will stay up. Microsoft is in talks to acquire an artificial intelligence firm for $16 billion. Nuance Communications speech recognition technology helped develop Siri for Apple. Bloomberg says Microsoft may use Nuance to improve technology that frees doctors from note-taking and better predicts the needs of patients. Finally, the most complex transformer ever is going to cost you. Hasbro's Optimus Prime robot has about 5,000 components and 60 microchips, and it can be controlled by voice commands, but it'll run you about $700. If you pre-order now, delivery is expected in August. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Do they still do layaway? Can we do layaway with
That would be nice.
a $700 toy?
That's a lot. I do.
How much was that thing?
$700.
Does a grown man need a $700 transformer?
Why not?
Sure. It's Optimus Prime, though.
I know.
Oh, well.
It's kind of cool.
Yes. Samuel, I know you wouldn't spend $700, right?
No.
Or would you?
No, I don't think so. But the thing I would be worried about is that there's so many components. What if something goes wrong?
Yes, that's true.
There's a warranty plan you can buy too. So
well, yeah, that'll be another $700.
Right.
Anyway, the good news out here on I-10 and Huebner is this construction should be clearing up shortly. We've had construction overnight here. They've been doing some road repairs. in this area heading toward downtown, so the eastbound lanes. But again, this is clearing up and traffic already up to speed limit or a little bit above between Huebner and Wurzbach heading toward downtown. Also on the west side, had some slowdowns here on 151 and US 90 earlier, but that time is looking fine this morning, 8 to 9 minutes in each direction, guys.
The guy that voiced Optimus Prime was great.
Yeah, he was. I mean,
Optimus Prime.
even though as a cartoon character, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm a fan of this hero in this cartoon. But Mark's like, that's too much.
No, I'm just admiring the flowers because
okay.
We're talking Transformers here.
I understand.
Yeah.
Mike, I've got a tall shrub outside my house, and I thought it was dead from the winter storm. Even it's starting to come back now. It's not blooming like this.
That's gorgeous.
Those are beautiful. Yeah, I think we've seen mom's flowers before, if memory serves me correctly, and those are always gorgeous. Yeah, I got a couple of plants out there, which I don't know if they're going to make it or not. So one of them died off, and maybe there's some life down there in the roots or something like that. Trim it back. Anyway.
They said keep waiting. Just keep waiting.
Okay. Well, I should probably trim it back, I assume. You're asking the wrong person here. Anyway, we've got a lot of clouds hanging around here this morning and plenty of humidity. That's the big thing you'll notice this morning compared to over the weekend. We had low humidity. It was really pleasant out there, and now it has definitely come back in here. And the humidity is going to be sticking around throughout the good chunk of the day. Now, we may see a little bit of a break out there in portions of the hill country, but it still stays around even overnight and into tomorrow. It will start to drop down, though, eventually as we get some cooler, relatively cooler air coming in here throughout the rest of the week. This is the water vapor imagery, and this just shows the moisture aloft in the atmosphere. And I think you can see there's a little bit of a low which is trying to take shape out here to the west. And this is what's going to be working its way in our direction, and that's what's going to help to kind of get things going later on this afternoon. And so that's why we do have a chance for some showers and some thunderstorms later on tonight. And then at least a chance of rain basically all week long. This computer model, just plenty of clouds around here, a little bit of sunshine thrown in as well. And then we start to see right around dinner time some of those showers and thunderstorms developing out there to the west in portions of the hill country. And this will be going into the evening hours. And as you can see, this one cluster works its way across basically northern half of the area and then moves off to the east and to the northeast. And we'll still have a few lingering showers in behind that. Well, as those get going, Storm Prediction Center does have the slight risk. That's the yellow shaded area. Slight risk for severe weather. High winds and hail are going to be the biggest threats as usual. And you can't rule out a stray tornado, not that it's going to be very likely. And then the marginal risk, the lesser risk, is here in northwestern Bexar County, and then basically right along I-35 and west of there is the chance for severe weather. And again, that's going to be tonight, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. And then, like I said, going into the rest of the week, we are going to be seeing at least the chance for some rain each and every day. Not necessarily great. It may improve a little bit toward the end of the week, plus some cooler temperatures too. Not today. 82, mostly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature. I'm just going to round up to 90 today. Plenty of humidity out there as well. So hot, humid, very unstable air, and that's why we have that chance for showers and thunderstorms tonight. And again, mainly to the north and to the northwest with that threat for some severe weather. And then tomorrow, low 80s. 70s and then low 70s by Friday. So almost 20 degrees cooler for a high temperature by Friday. And again, at least a shot at some rain each and every day. But we'll have to watch out for it tonight.
We will watch out. Thank you, Mike.
Keep the umbrella handy just in case. It's that time of year, 5:23. Glad you're with us.
And still ahead in your morning spotlight, a popular film celebrating a big award, plus Indiana Jones snags a new co-star.
Nomadland increases its chances at securing Oscar Gold, and Indiana Jones gets a new co-star.
Here's CNN Rick Damigella with the Hollywood Minute.
You are one of those lucky people that can travel anywhere.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And they sometimes call you nomads.
It's another win for Nomadland. The Frances McDormand-led drama was the night's big honoree at the Directors Guild of America Awards, claiming the prize for Outstanding Achievement in Theatrical Feature Film. Helmer Chloe Zhao became the first woman of color to receive the honor.
Give me the whip!
Adios, señor. Indiana Jones is getting a new co-star. Disney announced that Fleabag breakout Phoebe Waller-Bridge will join Harrison Ford in the upcoming 5th installment of the hit franchise. No word yet on who she will be playing, but fans will find out when the film hits theaters in July 2022.
I'm just trying to figure out why stripping.
Women, money, and a good time. Magic Mike gets real. Streaming platform HBO Max has ordered an unscripted competition series based on the hit stripping comedy. The series will transform 10 men who have lost their magic and teach them how to remove their clothes on stage with the same confidence as Channing Tatum. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagello.
And over the weekend, they moved Top Gun Maverick and Mission Impossible 76 again. So they're kind of all... 76, yes, that's the number they're on, right? Or is it 17? Anyway, they moved it again. We'll try to keep you posted.
Yeah.
It's like all over the place. They can't make up their minds. 5:27 with us on a Monday morning.
And still ahead on GMSA, some state leaders are pleading for more vaccines as COVID-19 cases surge.
And when it comes to a local beer, we're checking out San Antonio's history as a brew town that goes back further than you might think.
Hi, good morning. It's 5:30. Happy Monday. It's April 12th.
Glad you're with us. We're still waking up here on GMSA, but Mike Osterhage is in the lead. He appears to be the most caffeinated. Good morning, Mike.
Yes,
Good morning, everybody. It is very humid when you step outside this morning. Big difference from yesterday. And over the weekend, we had really, really pleasant weather. Did get warm in the upper 80s. We're going to be up there again today, upper 80s, close to 90. But the difference being we have all that humidity, which will definitely be sticking around. A lot of clouds as well. And notice the dew points. You get above 60, and you definitely feel it. Wind out of the southeast at about 5-10 miles per hour. There's a little bit of fog around the area. Not much here in the metropolitan area, but Kerrville at 5 miles right now, 7 Castroville, and then a lot of it down to the southeast. As a matter of fact, Beeville has dropped down to just a quarter mile. So if you're going down 37, you may run into some of that. It won't be widespread, real thick. But again, there's going to be those little spots where it is going to be thicker. 82 degrees today at noon, 90 high temperature. Going to keep a lot of clouds around, kind of breezy. And the humidity is also going to be sticking around today. And with that extra humidity around here, that makes the atmosphere very, very unstable. And some other factors come into play too. And what that means is we do have some rain, which is going to be later on tonight. The window of opportunity is going to be about starting, say, dinner time up through the early morning hours of tomorrow. And some of those storms could be on the strong, potentially severe side. We'll talk about that and some temperatures that are going to be going down this week and some rain chances that'll be sticking around. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority Samuel King, been pretty quiet up to now. What's up?
Yeah, pretty quiet and still relatively quiet, including a look here at the travel times. Mike, 24 minutes coming in on I-10 from Bernie to downtown San Antonio, 26 minutes on 281 from the north, and 25 minutes from New Braunfels on 35. We had construction overnight at I-10 between Huebner and Wurzbach Parkway, but as you can see here, that is clear and things are flowing pretty well here on I-10 this morning. They're doing some road repairs on the eastbound lanes, or the lanes heading into downtown. But again, that has now cleared up for the moment, and traffic is flowing well. And looking all around the map, things, a lot of green on the map. You have to go way down south here in southern Bexar County to see any sort of major delay. And this is coming off Palo Alto Road onto the 1604 westbound. You're down to 25 miles per hour at that ramp. We'll have another check of traffic coming up in a few minutes. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Samuel. There already is a bit of mystery in this Monday for San Antonio homicide investigators. They're trying to figure out why someone would shoot and kill a man who was riding his bicycle just north of downtown. Katrina Weber is live at Public Safety Headquarters where the investigation is continuing. Katrina, what have police learned about this shooting?
Not a whole lot. They say they don't have any witnesses at this point to that shooting, but they say surveillance cameras did capture enough to tell them that the shooter was in an SUV and the victim on a bicycle. Now, this happened in the middle of the Tobin Hill neighborhood on Evergreen Street off North St. Mary's. Police say they received a call after 2 this morning and found the man from the bicycle down on the ground with a gunshot wound in his head. Police searched the neighborhood and they found surveillance video. They say it shows a small, light-colored SUV driving past the victim, then turning around and heading back toward him. Police say someone inside that SUV shot the man on the bike, killing him, but they're not sure what led to that. The police say the man who was killed was between 35 and 45 years old, possibly homeless. And again, they say that in the meantime, they are trying to figure out exactly what happened to lead to the shooting. Reporting live at Public Safety Headquarters, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
As new cases of COVID surge in some states, leaders are begging for a surge of vaccines.
But as CNN's Brett Conway reports, the White House is staying the course and sticking with its vaccine distribution plan.
In Michigan, state leaders and health experts are all making the same plea as they watch more and more people test positive for COVID-19.
Think about surging vaccines into the state of Michigan.
I think getting vaccine shots in arms is our ultimate defense.
Make the case for surging vaccines.
We are asking for more help, for more vaccines.
Some national health experts are rallying behind them.
We've got to be able to do this when there are surges.
We need to get in the habit of trying to surge resources into those hotspots.
And Michigan is a hotspot. COVID-19 positivity rates haven't been this high here since the start of the pandemic, and hospitalizations are nearing peak levels. Governor Gretchen Whitmer is urging high schools to go remote, youth sports to pause, and people to skip indoor dining for at least the next 2 weeks. And a White House official tells CNN President Joe Biden told Whitmer the administration will send an additional 160 government personnel to help out with vaccinations, but no promise of more vaccines.
We have to make sure we're doing this in an equitable way, in a fair way, and the way that we have been doing this is by adult population. We have to continue to push forward, making sure that we're getting as many people as possible vaccinated.
But Whitmer says she'll continue pushing too.
And I'm going to continue to fight for the people of Michigan.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
A large crowd of onlookers gathered around police in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, after a man was shot and killed by officers overnight. Officials say the man was shot after fleeing a traffic stop for an outstanding warrant. Family identified the man as 20-year-old Dante Wright. After being shot, his car continued to travel several blocks and collided with another vehicle. A female passenger in his car was transported to a hospital. The driver of the other car was not injured. Both officers had their body cameras and dash cameras activated. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is currently investigating this shooting.
The chairman of Federal Reserve says the U.S. economy is at an inflection point and that the economy will continue to recover. While appearing on 60 Minutes, Fed Chair Jerome Powell provided a more positive outlook than he has in the past. Powell said widespread vaccinations and strong monetary policy will enable job creation and quick economic growth here in the U.S. Federal Reserve Chair expects interest rates will remain at historically low levels into 2023. While there could be increases in inflation over the summer, Powell believes they would only be temporary.
29-year-old Japanese golfer Hideki Matsuyama made history by winning the Masters on Sunday. In doing so, Matsuyama becomes the first Japanese golfer to win any of the 4 major championships in men's golf. He started the week as the 25th ranked golfer in the world, but entered Sunday with a commanding 4-stroke lead at Augusta National. Matsuyama ended up finishing just 1 shot ahead of American runner-up Will Zalatoris. Tiger Woods sent Matsuyama a congratulatory tweet saying he was, quote, making Japan proud, unquote. And Japan's prime minister reacted, calling Matsuyama's win, quote, wonderful.
It was fun to watch last night.
Yeah,
he teared up as he was walking towards the house there to pick up his green jacket.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
Right now we're at 537, 68 degrees.
And still ahead, details on a special program that makes it easier for kids to learn how to fish this summer.
Plus, are you ready for a cold brew? And we're not talking about coffee. We'll take a closer dive into our local beer industry's past and future.
And taking a look outside with live cam, it's actually 67 degrees out there, but it's a little humid. So yeah, be prepared for that. But we could get some rain. We'll check in with Mike later on.
A local leader is leading the charge when it comes to the future of education here in San Antonio.
This weekend on Leading SA, Max Massey and Sarah Costa talked with Akeem Brown, who holds many leadership roles in the San Antonio community, particularly education, infrastructure, and public transportation.
Yes, Akeem Brown joined us on Leading SA this weekend. So informative, so passionate about education and economic disparities across San Antonio. We talked about everything from infrastructure on the east side to him planning his own school and why. Take a listen.
We have learned that overwhelmingly students of color in San Antonio are struggling. Our schools are struggling in our communities. And so our focus at Essence Prep is really to build skill, that academic skill through academic rigor, but to build confidence. So students are raising their hands. They're answering questions, not only because they know, but because they are comfortable with knowing, right? And we know a lot of that comes with the fact that we have to prepare them to face challenges, and challenges not just academically, but socially.
We have our Leading SA segment every weekend. If you ever have a suggestion of who you want to hear from or any questions you'd like to ask, you can submit them right now. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. Guys, back to you.
And time now, it's 5:42 and it's about 68 degrees right now.
If you or your kids have ever wanted to learn how to fish, now is your chance. Up next, we're going to tell you about a special partnership with Texas Parks and Wildlife that teaches you everything you need to know to become a lifelong angler. If you enjoy a cold beer every now and then, this week's episode of KSAT Explains is for you.
This week, we are looking into our local beer industry's past and future. Myra Arthur gives us a sneak peek.
Whether you prefer a Pilsner, a Porter, or a Pale Ale, it seems these days there is a brewery in San Antonio for everyone.
The craft beer boom almost seemed to kind of come out of nowhere.
And while you may think this local beer explosion is recent, San Antonio has a history as a brew town that dates back more than 150 years.
San Antonio's definitely an anomaly because of the German influence. Germans are thirsty people. They like their beer.
In fact, San Antonio's first brewery opened in Alamo Plaza just 19 years after that famous battle. And over the next several decades, San Antonio became the brewing capital of Texas. But at some point, the once booming industry tapped out. And it's taken some time for the local beer business to build back up.
It's really nice to, put San Antonio back on the map again.
We're taking a look at San Antonio's storied beer history, the changes in Texas laws that are helping the industry thrive, and we're meeting some of the local brewers who may be behind your favorite craft beer.
In your morning consumer headlines, numerous cruise ships are ready to return to the water. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has yet to announce a date for when ships will be allowed to dock at U.S. ports. However, the industry is poised for a rebound. The Carnival Corporation says passenger reservations have nearly doubled over the past few months. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings say it is set to continue domestic trips for passengers and crew who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
Two chefs are hoping their new cookbook will help those who have lost their taste and smell due to coronavirus. The book is called Taste and Flavor. With their recipes, the chefs aim to stimulate a nerve that triggers sensations when eating. Some of the foods include mint, wasabi, and cinnamon. You can get a free digital copy from Life Kitchen.
A special partnership between Texas Parks and Wildlife and two other Texas-based education organizations are teaming up to give kids an opportunity to learn how to fish like a pro.
Well, this morning we're talking about how you and your child could participate in this special springtime session. The Texas Freshwater Fisheries Center up in Athens near Tyler has partnered with the nonprofit Fishing's Future and the Vamos a Pescar Education Fund to provide convenient fishing education opportunities for families throughout Texas. The goal of the program is to increase fishing knowledge and strengthen family bonds and a connection to the outdoors. The program runs through the end of May and has a variety of different activities to participate in. 24 in-person family fishing events are being hosted in each of the biggest metro areas in Texas, including San Antonio, through May 31st. The good news is all the fishing equipment and expertise needed for your family to have a successful fishing event is provided through grants, including one from Texas Parks and Wildlife. There are also live virtual workshops available that are made to fit around any family's busy schedule. Topics include fishing knots, lures, baits, rods and reels, water safety, fishing regulations, and fish habitat. Several more educational resources are also available, including 3 online instructional videos that can be accessed at any time. For more information on how to sign up, just visit fishingsfuture.org or the Texas Parks and Wildlife website. Now, I also want to let you know we have an organization in San Antonio that offers these kinds of programs year-round. It's called the Fin Addict Angler Foundation. And for more, you can go to their website at finaddictangler.org. I'll also post a link on my KSAT Mark Austin Facebook page.
Very cool.
Let's get fishing.
For now, let's go ahead and check in with Samuel King. There was some construction earlier. How are the roads looking now?
Things are looking fine, Stephanie and Mark, for a Monday morning. That construction I was on I-10 has cleared, so that's not going to interrupt your commute at this point this morning. Maybe something will develop later. This is Bandera Road between 1604 and Loop 410, 8 to 9 minutes each way. Can't get much better than that when it comes to commute times there. Good news for drivers on the east side. The new lanes have pretty much reopened according to TxDOT between Loop 410 and 1604 on I-10 East. That construction project has been ongoing for a while, but you may have noticed if you're in that area, your trip is not taking as long as it was. Now, there are going to be some other residual construction projects here and there on this stretch, and then over the summer, TxDOT's going to do a big project there at Loop 410 and I-10. But for now, the good news for drivers in eastern Bexar County is I-10 is a little bit smoother sailing right now. And this is a look at 35 and 410. This tends to back up later in the morning, but right now traffic is building, but is looking fine, guys.
If you were looking for hints on where to find some bluebonnets, Mike has a good spot.
Quick question, though. Do you fly fish or just regular casting?
I fly fish on occasion.
Okay.
Yes, but regular traditional bass fishing.
Nothing like getting kids out there.
Oh, I know, right?
Catching the first fish,
yeah.
You know.
And look for more stories right here on GMSA about that coming up late this spring and summer.
Very good.
I promise.
My grandparents' house and this little pond and just a, bamboo pole with a bobber on the end was always a blast.
Some great memories.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Speaking of bluebonnets, it's gorgeous up there right around Johnson City and those blue skies in the background. Fantastic. And we've got a lot of clouds hanging around here this morning. By the way, if you did not see yesterday's count as far as Oak is concerned was 40,500. It's the highest reading in about 26 years. The updated count is going to be coming out in roughly an hour and a half or so. 67 here in town this morning. We're about 15 above what it was at this time yesterday. Low 60s in parts of the hill country. Wind is coming in here out of the southeast, 5-10 miles per hour. Not overly windy, but it's helping to prevent a lot of fog from forming. Now, we do have some spots, just a couple of hints here and there. Pleasanton, Castroville, Bernie Stage, a little bit around Kerrville, a lot down to the southeast though. Beeville has just a quarter-mile visibility, so it's not going to be real widespread, real thick, but there will be those spots here and there. Here's what the computer model looks like through today. We're going to have a lot of clouds hanging around here this morning, some sunshine thrown in this afternoon. It's going to be hot. We did make it to the upper 80s yesterday. It's going to be upper 80s, close to 90 again today. Difference being we're going to have all that humidity out there, so you'll definitely feel it. And the humid air is on the unstable side, so we have a disturbance moving across here. And those factors are going to combine to later on this evening to produce some showers and thunderstorms in portions of the hill country. So that'll work mainly up in the hill country, but they will be grazing by, it looks like, at least according to this computer model, northern Bexar County, and then working their way off to the east in the overnight hours. We'll have maybe a couple of leftover showers after that. But during that window of opportunity, pretty much between dinner time and midnight, there is the threat for severe weather. There's the slight risk, the yellow area for portions of the hill country, Fredericksburg, Kerrville, Rock Springs, Uvalde, and the marginal risk in and around kind of right along I-35, if you will. Also take note, 16 right now, Cut Bank, 25 in Denver. So there is some cooler air which is trying to push down in here, and that's going to help to knock our temperatures down. We'll be almost 20 degrees cooler by the end of the week than what we're going to be today. 82 at noon, mostly cloudy skies, and a high temperature today. I'm just rounding up to 90 with mostly cloudy skies, plenty of humidity. Chance for showers and thunderstorms then tonight, and tomorrow we'll have 1 or 2 showers around here, kind of breezy the next few days. And really, now this doesn't mean it's going to be raining constantly, but there is the chance for some rain in some way, shape, or another each and every day, and also temperatures will be cooler by the end of the week.
Steph, when you think grilled cheese and soup, who do you think of?
Of course, our Mike Osterhage.
The ambassador of grilled cheese.
Yes, it is National Grilled Cheese Day today.
So it's all about you today,
yeah,
buddy.
we're gonna have a chef on there. It's gonna have all these different varieties of grilled cheeses and award-winning grilled cheese. And I like seeing what's in there.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
You know, and it's more than just the American cheese. Okay, raises the question, butter or mayonnaise on the outside?
I tried the mayo thing. It did not
Seriously?
work for me, buddy. No.
Haven't tried mayonnaise, but I'm a fan of butter.
A lot of I am too. A lot of chefs swear by it that it makes it a little bit crispier on it. But oh goodness gracious, look at all those.
That one's got a kick to it.
Yeah, that's a lot of
So
kick
again,
there.
1
Oh, there you
o'clock,
go.
So food, and more food on SA Live today at 1.
Yes, indeed.
All right, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mike. Right now we're at just about 5 till 6.
Look at your winning Lotto numbers this morning. We have pick 3, 219, Fireball 9, Daily 4, 0675, Fireball 0.
Cash 5 numbers 8, 17, 19, 24, 30. Lotto Texas 10, 21, 25, 34, 36, 43. And Powerball 14, 16, 23, 50, 53, Powerball 3, Power Play also 3. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, breaking overnight, protests erupting in Minnesota. Violence on the streets after a fatal police shooting of a 20-year-old black man killed during a traffic stop. The Minnesota National Guard deployed. This just miles from where former officer Derek Chauvin is on trial, charged with murdering George Floyd. We are there live with the latest this morning, plus much more coming up on GMA. We'll see y'all soon.
So let out on Good Morning San Antonio how a Southside ISD music director's passion for Conjunto music is helping create a unique opportunity for students. And the Monday morning commute is off and running. Let's take a look at TransGuide. You're looking at 10 in Callahan. We'll get more from Samuel coming up.
A trail of destruction left behind in one neighborhood just south of Somerset. I'm Stephen Cavazos, and we're live in Atascosa County this morning with what fire marshals are calling a massive fire. Details coming up.
COVID hotspots leaving health officials scrambling. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington. Coming up, details of how vaccination efforts are squaring up.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are at a humid 67, 68 degrees right now. We are expecting rain this week, but for now, let's wait for things to heat up.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good Monday morning to you. It is April 12th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Hope you had a beautiful weekend. The weather was nice, though, only if you could fight off the allergens in the air.
Yeah, the Oak was insane yesterday. Mike has more on that as we start out the work week with a shot at a shower or storm here or there.
Yeah, and pretty much rain chances are going to be sticking around all week long. Now, it's not going to be, a whole rainy period, but at least there's that chance. And also, as far as the allergens, highest has been Oak in 26 years.
Over 40,000 parts per cubic meter.
Unbelievable. So I think it's because I cut my grass on Saturday and it was just dust everywhere.
Oh, it's your fault.
Yeah,
it's your
I'll take the blame for it. 68 degrees right now, dew points at 61. There is plenty of humidity that's gone up considerably compared to this time yesterday. Visibility right now, there's a little bit, some hints of fog here and there just because of all the humidity. The breeze is helping to keep it from getting too awfully thick. However, it has dropped down. At Victoria, Beeville has actually come up a little bit to 1.75 miles visibility, but of course, as usually the case, we have a lot more there along the coastal plain. So 65 degrees. That's, basically steady temperatures throughout the rest of the morning. A lot of clouds. Wind is going to be out of the southeast, 10, 15, and 20 miles per hour. A little bit breezy at times. We'll make it up to 82 today at noon. And then a high temperature today up to, I'm just going to round up to 90. And it's going to definitely, you'll notice it because the humidity will be sticking around. Then we have some rain chances coming in here. And tonight things potentially could be on the strong to severe side, especially in portions of the hill country. We'll get that sorted out and some encouraging news about temperatures this week. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority Samuel King. Anything going on, sir?
Good morning, Mike. Nothing too much at the moment. We did have some construction overnight on I-10 on the west side between Huebner and Wurzbach, but that has been cleared. As you can see on the map, not too much going on this morning. Looking at 1604 on the northwest side, 11 minutes each way between Bandera and 281, but we know it won't be too much longer before that starts to back up a little bit as the commute really gets gets going. Looking at some other travel times across the region, 26 minutes coming in from New Braunfels on 35, 24 minutes on I-10 from Bernie, 16 minutes on 35 from the Lytle area. And taking a look at TransGuide 35 downtown in Laurel Level, and we have a bad deal there, so let's try to get one more here. There we go. I-10 at Callahan, traffic flowing well this morning. We'll have another update coming up.
Thank you, Samuel. Several homes and vehicles are destroyed after a massive fire just south of Somerset. This happened in a neighborhood near FM 476 at J&M Lane. That's last night. Fire crews from surrounding areas all helped put it out. Our Stephen Cavazos is live in Atascosa County this morning. Now, Stephen, do investigators know how this all started?
Well, Stephanie, they say that this started because of an unauthorized burn here in Atascosa County, and that fire had left behind a trail of destruction. Now, of course, we're going to wait for the sun to come up, that is, to get a closer look at that destruction. But we know that a total of 4 homes and 9 vehicles were damaged and some just completely destroyed. Now, according to a fire marshal with Atascosa County, this all started just before 9 last night. Fire crews from Divine, Lytle, JPSA, Lackland, Windcrest, Atascosa, and Bexar County were all on the scene. Now, the estimated damage is still not clear, but 3 of those homes were deemed a total loss. Now, it's not clear if the people or person behind that unauthorized burn will face any charges. Now, we mentioned in the last half hour, we have reached out to the Atascosa fire marshal, that is, and are waiting to hear that response as to that estimated damage and whether or not we're going to be seeing any charges coming up. But we'll be live here coming up later this morning on GMSA, so stay with us as we continue to bring you the latest. Mark, Stephanie, back to you.
New this morning, San Antonio police are investigating a deadly shooting just north of downtown. Happened around 2:30 this morning on Evergreen Court near North St. Mary's. Police say a man was riding a bike when someone in an SUV fired a shot out of the car, hitting the man in the head. Officers still searching for anyone who may have been inside that vehicle. In our next half hour, Katrina Webb will have an update on the investigation.
2 local Walmart stores have been given the all clear after receiving bomb threats on Sunday evening. San Antonio police say the stores on Austin Highway and at Loop 410 in Rigsby received the threats last night. Police used bomb-sniffing dogs to search for any threat. Investigators say no explosive devices were found at either store and there were no injuries reported. This morning, customers and employees will be allowed back inside both stores.
This morning, there are still a few dozen appointments available for COVID-19 vaccine through WellMed. If you're looking to reserve your spot, you can call the number on your screen, 833-968-1745. You can also register online. We have a link right now on KSAT.com. WellMed opened 4,000 appointments for first dose vaccinations yesterday. They're all from Moderna, so you must be at least 18 to receive this vaccine. All the doses are free.
The U.S. is facing new challenges in the midst of progress against the coronavirus. A record number of Americans were vaccinated over the weekend, but increasing cases of COVID-19 threaten to spur a 4th wave. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
Good morning. COVID hotspots from New York to Michigan, leaving health officials scrambling. In just the past week in the upper Midwest, hospitalizations surged nearly 30%. This morning, healthcare workers in Michigan overwhelmed. Hospital beds filling up.
The other day was 60 patients. There's 8 to 10 hour waits. We don't have enough nurses.
The situation rivaling the peak of last year. Michigan now the epicenter of the alarming rise in COVID cases across the country.
It's breaking our hearts. We're exhausted.
Over the weekend, the U.S. vaccination effort shattering its previous record. 4.6 million Americans received a dose on Saturday alone. But this week, the U.S. anticipating a potentially devastating 85% drop in Johnson & Johnson's vaccine supply. In New York, after 72 days in the hospital battling the virus, Alfredo Hercules grateful to be home with his family.
You don't really know how much you'll miss something until it's taken away from you.
And 39 states have now expanded vaccine eligibility to people 16 years and older. 3 more expected to do the same this week. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
In your morning headlines, a number of top executives and corporate leaders virtually discussed how to respond to changes in voting laws across the country over the weekend. That's according to the Washington Post. Post reports more than 100 leaders from major airlines, retailers, and manufacturers talked about potential ways they can show they oppose the legislation. New voting laws have been signed into law in Georgia, and other states are considering similar changes, including right here in Texas.
Officials in Windsor, Virginia say one of 2 police officers accused of pepper spraying and pointing their guns at a black Army officer during a traffic stop has been fired. The announcement came hours after Virginia Governor Ralph Northam called for an independent investigation of that incident. The AP reports it happened back in December, but the Army second lieutenant just recently filed a lawsuit. Windsor officials say an internal investigation determined policy was not followed during the traffic stop.
It's now 8 minutes past the hour. We're at about 67 degrees.
The pandemic is fueling the soaring demand for homes and driving up prices at a rate not seen in 15 years. Find out more in today's GMA First Look.
Plant-based burgers, CBD, and low-cal alcohol were big food fads last year. After the break, we'll look at the newest foods and fads making headlines this year.
And taking a look outside, live cam, a humid start to your day, and it's going to heat up, so prepare for that, but also prepare for rain this week. We're going to check in with Mike later on.
Move over, kale. Kelp is the latest food trend. Not only is it packed with vitamin B and calcium, but it is also great for the environment. It requires no fertilizer to grow and helps keep water clean by removing nutrients that causes algae blooms. Microgreens, also a trend to be on the lookout for. These multicolored baby counterparts of plants like carrots and broccoli, they can have up to 40 times the amount of nutrients of their mature counterparts. And you've probably heard of probiotics, but what about postbiotics? They are essentially the waste products of probiotics. Postbiotics are being looked into for anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits and the ability to boost the immune system. Now, postbiotics can be found in sauerkraut, sourdough bread, kimchi, a new buzzword for those trying to give up their nightly cocktail, mocktails. Adaptogens are calming herbal pharmaceuticals that counteract the effects of stress on the body. They naturally help you unwind at the end of a hard day.
Cheers.
Foods that are environmentally friendly are expected to make a big impact in 2021. Food production accounts for a quarter of greenhouse gas emissions. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Well, Steph kept it a secret till the very, very last second, but she was invited to be the Grand Marshal at the Poteet Strawberry Festival Parade over the weekend, and you had a Grand Marshal?
I did. Well, so that's the first part of the parade, which was a lot of fun. And then we stopped at City Hall, and then our nice driver, Andrew, allowed us to bring on Rooney on board, so she got to enjoy the parade as well. There she is.
Well, could the weather have been any better?
Yeah, the weather was perfect. I mean, it was a little windy, but it was just beautiful. And, just want to thank, everybody with the Strawberry Festival, of course, the mayor, Willie Liao, his wife, Diana, super nice. And also Jonathan Garcia with Garcia Farms North for the delicious strawberries. So it was a lot of fun. So thank you guys for being so welcoming to me and to my family. And as you could see, Rooney just had a blast.
She ate it up. Probably like the strawberries too, right?
Yes.
Did it feel more like normal being out at an event like this weekend?
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did. It was good to be back. It was good to be there.
Yeah.
And you could tell everybody was just ready to have an event and to be around people at this time.
The most important question, how's the strawberry crop this year?
Oh my gosh, it's great.
Is it good?
It's delicious.
Fantastic.
Yeah. You could tell. I mean, we got to carry around a box, and then some people coming in were like, "Oh my gosh, where did you get those?"
Where did you get those?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it looks like you had an awesome weekend.
Yes, thank you, Mark. It was beautiful.
Let's check in with Samuel over in the traffic lab at 6:15. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. And taking a look at some other travel times this morning, 28 minutes coming in on I-10 from Seguin, 22 minutes from the La Vernia area if you take that on 87, and 29 minutes from the Floresville area to downtown San Antonio. A couple of small incidents here and there, including a blockage of an on-ramp there at 281 in Sonterra, but we also have a stalled vehicle now. This is Loop I-35 North at Loop 1604. So watch out for that if your commute takes you northbound on 35 heading out of San Antonio. Up here in Kendall County, TxDOT is making some changes to the frontage road here on I-10. So they have some ongoing construction. And so this eastbound frontage road from Main Street or US 87 to Scenic Loop is now going to be one way as they continue work on the project there at 87 and I-10 up there near Burning. Looking at the Transguide 281 at Hildebrand, it looks okay. Let's try to get one more here before we toss it over to Mike and everyone. Y35 Cesar Chavez, you saw briefly there, traffic building but flowing well, guys.
Thank you for the update, Samuel. And now to a man who's a future Grand Marshal of a Fiesta Parade here in San Antonio, Mike Osterhage.
That was your first Grand Marshal, right?
Yes, or well, first parade. I mean, well, you know, growing up I was in, marching band, but this was a very neat experience. Very, very cool.
Well, that's great. I love that. But you need to have that picture of you and Rooney framed. That's Louise's Father's Day gift.
Yeah, it was very special. Thank you, guys.
Anyway, yeah, beautiful over the weekend. And as you're heading out this morning, make sure the air conditioning works because it is warm. It's humid out there. We're at 65 degrees. There's a couple of little patches of fog here and there, not a big deal. And then later on this afternoon, yeah, we're going to be up to 90, mostly cloudy skies, very humid. We are going to see, though, the trend for temperatures to drop down a little bit as time rolls on. All right, when was the last time you were driving on 90? Right there in Castroville, just before you hit the river on the left side of the road, there is this house. This was brought over. I remember covering this, 20 some odd years ago when they brought this over piece by piece from Alsace, France. And
is this where the Osterhages originate from?
No.
This is the old homestead where your great-great-great-grandfather was born?
Although the Alsace region is on the other side of the mountains, I believe, the Alps closer, it has more German influence than French.
From where the Osterhages are from?
So, not Alsace, though. But, yeah, they brought it over piece by. It's like 400 or 500 years old, this house is. So, it's very cool out
almost
there.
Like going home, Mike.
And there's the poppies right in front there, so. Thank you very much for that picture. Oak, by the way, is yesterday's reading the highest in more than a quarter century, 26 years, 40,500. The updated count is going to be coming out in about an hour or so. And here's a look outside. Everything looks pretty good. There is some patchy fog around the area, though, so just something to kind of keep in mind. Not real thick. In most of our area, it was getting a little bit thicker down around Beeville and Victoria. Upper 80s and low 90s yesterday. Yeah, if you were in the direct sun, it was very hot, but in the shade, it was really comfortable because of the low humidity. Now, today, we're going to be right up in that ballpark again. Upper 80s, low 90s, and then down to the southwest and mid to upper 90s. But the difference being we are going to have humidity, so you'll definitely be feeling those temperatures later on today. Lots of clouds this morning, and we'll have some sunshine mixed in with the clouds later on today. And then by about dinner time, early evening, we start to see some of these showers and thunderstorms developing out there to the west. And this is going to be heading into the nighttime hours close to 10 o'clock and then right around midnight and just after that. And these will continue to work their way on through the area. Now, as the storms move on through, some could be strong to potentially severe. Again, Storm Prediction Center has pretty much all of the hill country west of I-35, north and west of I-35, under some sort of a severe threat. The green is the marginal risk, and then that gets bumped up a notch into the slight risk in portions of the hill country, Fredericksburg, Kerrville, western Bandera County down toward Uvalde. So high winds and hail are, of course, the biggest threats with that, and can't rule out a stray tornado, even though the odds of that are not very likely. Also, what's interesting is temperatures are down in the teens. A lot of freezing readings and freezing as far south as Denver. So some of this cooler air is going to try and push its way in our direction. We're not going to get that cold, but we're going to have temperatures that will be well below normal. Normal is right around upper 70s, close to 80 right now. We're only going to be in the low 70s, and some folks won't even get out of the 60s by the end of the week. 82 degrees today at noon, mostly cloudy skies, and a high temperature today up to 90. With the humidity, and then we have showers and some thunderstorms around here tonight. Again, primarily in the hill country. Some of those could be on the stronger side. And tomorrow, 82 degrees, so at least temperatures will be down. We'll still have some humidity hanging around here. And notice how there is the chance for a couple of showers. Now, won't be raining constantly. Not everybody will see rain, but at least each and every day there's that chance for some rain, and temperatures will drop into the mid 70s and then even low 70s once we get into Friday and Saturday of next week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the 70s. I'll take that.
For mid-April, low 70s. Liking that.
We're going to have to go out and check out all those poppies out there in Castroville. That's probably the 6th or 7th picture we've seen feature poppies.
Beautiful out there.
It looks beautiful.
And also that house, too.
All right. the Osterhage homestead?
No.
6:20 right now. We're in the upper 60s.
And after a 5-game losing streak, our San Antonio Spurs got a win last night. We're going to have the highlights and the reaction to the win over the Mavericks.
Practically a lead story.
It is.
These are real people, not actors, who've got their eczema under control. With less eczema, you can show more skin. So roll up those sleeves and help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is the first treatment of its kind that continuously treats moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, even between flare-ups. Dupixent is a biologic and not a cream or steroid. Many people taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin and had significantly less itch. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. So help heal your skin from within and talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent. If your financial situation has changed, we may be able to help.
In this morning's GMA First Look, red hot housing market. Home prices rising at their highest rate in 15 years, up 11.2%. And demand so intense that Redfin reports nearly half of homes are selling within a week of hitting the market. That's a record.
The market is crazy right now.
The spike, a result of the pandemic, as more people work from home, mortgage rates drop, and millions of millennials now enter their home buying years. $1 Million listing agent Tracy Tudor says despite the competition, now is the best time to buy a new home.
Because the interest rates are so historically low, know what you're getting into and make sure you secure that interest rate now because you will not find it again.
And whether you're a buyer or a seller, coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have the insider tips you need to know. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
6:25. Well, this is a nice change. Good news on a Monday morning. Spurs added another tally to the win column. They beat their I-35 rivals, the Mavericks, last night in Dallas. Both teams fought to get to the edge, but the lead kept switching back and forth throughout the game, and it came down to the wire. Dallas scored with 20 seconds to tie the game at 117. Spurs get the ball. DeMar nails the jumper with 5 seconds left. Mavs had one last chance. The half-court shot misses. Spurs break a 5-game losing streak and win 119-117. DeRozan was hot all night, led all scorers with 33 points. And here's what he had to say after the win.
It was a combination of a little bit of everything. Teammates, getting to the zone, picking and choosing my spots, want to be aggressive. Third quarter, I just try to come out, be a lot more aggressive, kind of try to set the tone for us and, let it carry over from there. And, I came down late in the game and, I just kept a attack mentality and took what they gave me.
Spurs won't have any rest before the next game. Team is off to Orlando to take on the Magic tonight. Tip-off scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight on Bally Sports Southwest. And as always, you can catch highlights, or what we hope are highlights, tomorrow on GMSA. Well, the green jacket is on after Japanese golfer Hideki Matsuyama won the Masters Golf Tournament in Augusta, Georgia over the weekend. With the win late yesterday, becomes the first Japanese golfer to win any of the 4 major men's championships in men's golf. Those include the Masters, U.S. Open, the Open Championship, and the PGA Championship. This morning, Japan's Prime Minister is congratulating the 29-year-old golfer. Last night, Matsuyama said he hopes his win might inspire young Japanese golfers.
It's thrilling to think that there are a lot of youngsters in Japan watching today. Hopefully in 5-10 years, when they get a little older, and hopefully some of them will be competing on the world stage. I still have a lot of years left, so they're going to have to compete against me still. But I'm happy for them because hopefully they'll be able to follow in my footsteps.
That's so cool.
And Jordan Spieth, who won the Valero Texas Open last weekend, finished tied for 3rd yesterday at the Masters. Congratulations to all the golfers. It was a great weekend of golf.
Yeah, it was. An emotional video also.
Very much so.
Yeah. Time now at 6:27 and about 68 degrees right now.
Well, still to come on GMSA, third week of testimony in the trial of Derek Chauvin begins today. We'll see the arguments being presented thus far.
Early on this Monday morning, police are in the early stages of a murder investigation. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. A man on a bicycle shot just north of downtown. I'll have that story.
Several homes and vehicles destroyed here just south of Somerset. I'm Stephen Cavazos, and coming up this morning on GMSA, we're live in Atascosa County this morning with what investigators believe caused this massive fire.
Just now waking up, and if you have yet to step outside, it is quite warm yet again. We're looking at some hot, humid weather for the time being, but Mike says we do have a shot at a shower or storm.
Good morning. It is Monday, April 12th. Thanks so much for joining us, and I hope you had a beautiful weekend despite the allergens in the air.
We were super hot Friday. It cooled down over the weekend. The only other problem is oak allergens, but we're going to accentuate the positive, and that is an outside chance at some rain around here, which we desperately need, Mike.
Yes, some rain and also some cooler temperatures. Now, it was up to the upper 80s yesterday and close to 90, and we're going to be up there again today, although we didn't have the humidity to deal with, but the humidity has definitely made a return this morning, so that's what you're going to be noticing when you step outside. Also, a lot of clouds. We're not seeing any glow of the sunrise as of yet, and all these temperatures. I mean, look at that. Del Rio still at 71 degrees, 68 Carrizo Springs, and mid 60s out to the west. We've got a little bit of fog, not much, just a couple of hints here and there. Was more down to the southeast. Victoria's now just down to 1.5 mile visibility. Beeville has actually improved ever so slightly. There's kind of a breeze out there, which helps to prevent a lot of really thick fog from forming up. And this is what Mark was alluding to, the oak pollen, 40,500, the highest it has been in 26 years. Hopefully, it can't get any higher. We'll get the updated count in about an hour or so. Warm and humid, maybe a patch of fog this morning, and then later on today, mostly cloudy. Again, still warm and very humid. The difference between today and yesterday is going to be the fact that you got all this humidity to deal with those temperatures close to 90, and showers and a couple of thunderstorms, mainly out in the hill country. We will see some here in town, but there's the threat of some strong to potentially severe storms out to the west, and that's going to be later on tonight between dinner time and then going into the evening hours, nighttime hours, approaching, say, late evening, and then they'll taper off in the overnight hours, but we'll still keep a couple of showers around here even tomorrow, and like I said, the rest of the week. And also, temperatures are going to start to cool down just a little bit more progressively each and every day. And boy, it will be maybe 20 degrees cooler by the end of the week. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Samuel King. You haven't had a lot to talk about this morning.
No, and I suppose that's a good thing there, Mike. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone out there. We had some construction overnight on I-10 on the west side, but that has cleared up. This is I-35 northbound at Loop 410. Traffic building a little bit, but flowing well this morning here, but not too far away. A little close to this area, I should say, is Loop 410 southbound at WW White Road. We do have a stalled vehicle there, but still seeing a lot of green on the map, so that's a good thing there. Taking a look at some other parts of the area, particularly north of I-10, we have this situation on 281 northbound at Sonterra Boulevard, the ramp blocked there following an earlier crash. Looking at some travel times in the area, if you're coming in on 281 from Belverde, 27 minutes into downtown San Antonio, 24 minutes on I-10 from Bernie, 28 minutes from Pleasanton on 37. And we'll have another check of your traffic coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Samuel. Surveillance cameras seem to be the saving grace for San Antonio police when it comes to an overnight murder case. They say there were no witnesses to the shooting, which happened north of downtown at Evergreen near North St. Mary's. Katrina Weber is live at Public Safety Headquarters with this story. Katrina, what did those cameras capture?
Well, police told me that they did capture the vehicle involved, an SUV, as well as how the shooting happened. They still don't know why it happened or who pulled the trigger. Officers answered the call about the shooting shortly after 2 o'clock this morning, found the victim down in the middle of the Tobin Hill neighborhood. They say he was dead from a gunshot wound in his head. Police say that man had been riding a bicycle on Evergreen Street near North St. Mary's just before someone shot him. They say surveillance videos show a small light-colored SUV drive by him, turn around, then head back toward him. They say someone in the SUV then shot the man on the bicycle, killing him. The police are not sure if there were any words exchanged between the two. The man who was killed, police tell us, was between the ages of 35 and 45, and they say he possibly may have been homeless. Reporting live from Public Safety Headquarters, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. A massive fire destroyed several homes and vehicles last night, and investigators believe it stemmed from an unauthorized burn. It happened in a neighborhood near FM 476 at J&M Lane, just south of Somerset. Stephen Cavazos is live there this morning. Now, Stephen, are any charges expected?
Stephanie, right now that's still not clear if the person or persons responsible behind this unauthorized burn will face any charges. Now, we drove out here to take a look at that damage. However, it's still too dark to see that severity. However, investigators believe it was that unauthorized burn which sparked that trail of destruction, which spread to several vehicles and homes in this area. Now, this all started just before 9 last night, and fire crews from Devine, Lytle, JBSA, Lackland, Windcrest, Atascosa, and Bexar County were all on the scene. Although there were no injuries reported, a total of 4 homes and 9 cars were damaged. Now, 3 of those homes were deemed a complete loss, and we're still waiting to hear from the Atascosa County Fire Marshal's office as to the estimated damage and whether or not we can expect any charges in the near future. Of course, stay with KSAT as we continue to bring you the latest on this massive fire here in Atascosa County. But for now, reporting live, Stephen Cavazos, KSAT 12 News. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephen. 6:37, week 3 of witness testimony begins today in the murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Last week, the prosecution relied on expert medical witnesses to present their case that Chauvin caused Floyd's death by kneeling on his neck for more than 9 minutes.
However, the defense has argued Floyd's drug use and heart disease were important contributing factors. CNN's Nadia Romero has the latest.
Prior to your testimony today.
In much anticipated witness testimony, the Hennepin County Chief Medical Examiner explained the autopsy he performed on George Floyd and why he ruled his death a homicide.
The law enforcement subdual restraint and the neck compression was just more than Mr. Floyd could take.
But defense attorney Eric Nelson noted during testimony that Floyd's death certificate showed fentanyl and meth in his system and other health conditions like heart disease.
In this particular case is Mr. Floyd's heart, right?
Yes.
And even without any sort of an exertion, that's a potential cause of death that needs to be considered.
Yes. But forensic pathologist Dr. Lindsay Thomas said Floyd would be alive if it weren't for the actions of police.
There's no evidence to suggest he would have died that night, except for the interactions with law enforcement.
For the first time during this trial on Friday, a woman was sitting in the chair reserved for a Chauvin family member. But the support for George Floyd has been loud and consistent outside the courtroom. On Friday, during the trial in Minneapolis, family and friends gathered for a community prayer vigil in Houston.
To us, this is a case, this is a cause, it's a hashtag. To Rodney and his family, this is their blood.
In Minneapolis, I'm Nadia Romero.
In Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, a city that borders Minneapolis, the National Guard is in place after protesters gathered in opposition to a deadly police shooting of a black man. The Associated Press says a police officer shot 20-year-old Dante Wright during a traffic stop. The AP reports Wright was shot, got back in his car, and drove off before crashing a few blocks away. Officers say he died at the scene. Demonstrations lasted into the night and were largely peaceful, but there were several confrontations between protesters and law enforcement. The Brooklyn Center Police Department says officers had their body cameras and dash cameras activated. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is currently investigating this shooting.
Former U.S. Attorney General and legal activist Ramsey Clark has died. His granddaughter says he passed away at his home in New York on Friday. Clark served as Attorney General for President Lyndon Baines Johnson. Clark recognized for supervising the drafting of the landmark 1968 Civil Rights Act. He became a critic of the war in Vietnam and in later years served as defense attorney for Saddam Hussein. Mr. Clark was 93 years old.
And time now is 6:40 and about 68 degrees right now.
Conjunto music, a big part of many people's culture here in San Antonio. After the break, we'll meet a local music teacher keeping that tradition alive.
And welcome back at 6:44. A Southside ISD music director is heading the only Conjunto music program in all of San Antonio. Ana Bustamante created the ensemble with students in her mariachi class. She says it's the accordion that makes Conjunto music so unique. She says her father played the instrument growing up, and that inspired her to stay connected to the music. Now, Bustamante hopes her students can carry on the tradition.
All of these lessons I have instilled in these students. Make a commitment, keep your word. Don't think you can just wing it.
Bustamante hopes to have performances with her Conjunto program later this year. If you'd like to know more about her story or others featured on What's Up South Texas, just head to our website at KSAT.com.
We heard a clip earlier in the newscast. They sounded pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
Right now, it's just about 6:45.
Let's go ahead and check back with Samuel King. We seem to have an okay Monday so far.
Yeah, so far so good for people starting the work week. Most of the travel times looking good here. Just 28 minutes coming in from Seguin on I-10 westbound, 23 minutes from the Lavernia area, 29 minutes on 181 and 37 if you're coming in from Floresville. And look at the map, nothing much going on at the moment. Some stalled vehicles here and there, but for the most part, it's been pretty quiet this morning, including here on the east side. This is I-10 between 410 and Loop 1604. TxDOT reporting that they've substantially completed the work on the new main lanes here. So that's why these sort of travel times have really dropped down here to 5 minutes. Still going to be some work, including here at 410 and I-10 this summer. But this major project here in between 410 and 1604 has been completed. That's some good news for drivers on the east side. 281 at San Pedro, everybody looking fine this morning. Traffic building, but at the moment, things look good.
Well, as you take outdoor photos, you never know who's going to wander into the shop, Mike.
I know, this is a good one.
I just looking at that picture is so wonderful, and I love the fact that the cow's named Elizabeth. So
she's pretty.
Yeah,
Elizabeth
she is.
wanted to be in the picture.
Aww.
That's great with the flowers in the foreground there, and I love the red chair there. Wonderful
Very
shot.
nice.
Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. All right, we're not really seeing any glow of the sunrise this morning. Got a lot of clouds out there, and a whole different story than what we had yesterday because temperatures are not only about 15 degrees warmer, we've got a bunch more humidity. This is the water vapor imagery, and it just kind of shows some of the moisture aloft in the atmosphere. And this is a good way to see little disturbances a lot of times in the atmosphere. And in this situation, if you look right out here in toward far west Texas, just south of El Paso, you notice there's a little bit of a kind of a comma shape right there. And that's a low, which is going to be a disturbance that's going to be working its way across the area then as we go into tonight. And that's what's going to help ahead of it to touch off a couple of showers as well as a few thunderstorms. We're going to keep a lot of clouds around today. We keep the humidity around here, and temperatures are definitely going to be on the hot side. Then we go into this evening. So between, say, dinner time and then midnight, or just after just after midnight, we're going to be seeing some of these showers and thunderstorms. So they'll start to develop out there to the west and then really work their way across here. And some of these are going to be on the strong to potentially severe side. High winds and hail are going to be the biggest threats. And then this will continue to work its way off to the east as we go into, again, the overnight hours into the early morning of tomorrow, maybe even a couple of leftover showers then tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center has the slight risk, the yellow area for western portions of the hill country, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Uvalde in that, and then the green area is the marginal risk, and that does include northwest Bexar County, and they've actually kind of moved that down just a little bit. So some of these storms could be, like I said, on the strong side. High winds, hail, isolated tornado possible, but not very likely with any of these storms. And again, temperatures, what's interesting to note is it's 24 in Denver, 17 in Cutbank, Montana right now. And some of that cooler air is trying to push its way down to the south. And what that's going to do is help to push a couple of fronts on through here. And that's going to cool us down as we go in through the rest of the week. So it's going to be very hot today, 90, well above normal, but then we'll slowly go downward as the week progresses. 82 at noon, mostly cloudy skies and plenty of clouds around today. Some sunshine thrown on in there, 90, and lots of humidity as well. And then by dinner time, out in the western portions of the hill country, we start to see some of those showers and a couple of thunderstorms developing, and they'll work their way to the east in the evening hours. And then tomorrow, we'll still have a couple of leftover showers around here. Not raining constantly, 20% chance of rain. Same thing on Wednesday, but at least there is the chance for a couple of showers. Low 80s tomorrow, mid 70s middle of the week, and then low 70s by the end of the week, and a slightly better chance of rain, I think, maybe by the weekend. And yeah, you can't argue with temperatures when they're dropping down to the low 70s.
It's almost the reverse of last week because we really got hot at the end of the week, and now we're doing
right. Starting off very hot, 90, and then down to 70.
But it's nice to see 70s in April.
Yes, yes indeed.
Please don't disappoint her with the forecast, okay? Nobody wants to deal with that. It's about 10 till right now, so we're looking at the upper 60s right now. Coming up on, oh yeah, I forgot, we're going to ask Mike about SA Live today.
National Grilled Cheese Day. I mean, what is a great comfort food like that? And Chef Ben De Los Santos from Benji's Munch is going to join us, make his award-winning grilled cheese and other over-the-top grilled cheese creations.
I mean,
looks good.
The ways to make grilled cheese are probably endless, right?
Oh yeah, and to combine different cheeses in there. I like to do some American, a little cheddar, maybe some Swiss thrown in.
I like the combination.
And the bread has to be good too.
We're looking forward to that. We hope you save some samples for
wink,
us.
Wink, wink, leftovers, wink,
I'll
wink.
save you as much grilled cheese as you did strawberries.
I blame Luis. he handed them out to our neighbors.
Are they gone?
Yeah.
Oh man, we're going to work out an exchange program. Strawberries for burgers, is it great? Or grilled cheese. It's about 10 till 7 right now. We're in the upper 60s.
And millions of people around the world suffer from depression and anxiety. Tomorrow on GMSA, we're sharing psychology secrets for answering that troublesome question, am I really okay?
Outside with live cam. See how things are looking out there as folks are heading off to work there at 410. We're going to get an update on how things are looking across the area on the roads with Samuel King coming up next.
San Antonio police say cameras seem to have captured what no one else saw, the moments leading up to a man's death. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. That man was shot and killed in a neighborhood just north of downtown. The murder happened shortly after 2 o'clock this morning in the Tobin Hill neighborhood on Evergreen Street near North St. Mary's. Police say the victim was on a bicycle when someone in an SUV drove up and shot him in the head, killing him. Initially, investigators had no witnesses and no clues about what happened, but they say they were able to find surveillance video showing them at least part of the murder. They say they're looking for a small, light-colored SUV that was caught on camera. The police say the man who was killed was homeless. They're not sure at this point if there was any relationship between him and the person in the SUV who shot him, but police again trying to track down that SUV. Reporting from Public Safety Headquarters, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
5 till 7.
Let's go ahead and check in with Samuel King. Looks like there are more vehicles on the roadways right now.
Yeah, traffic building a little bit, but traffic times still look fine, Mark and Stephanie. 24 minutes coming in on I-10 from Bernie, 35 from New Braunfels, 26 minutes. Not too much on the board this morning, although delays are starting to build here on 1604 on the northwest side, down to up to 14 minutes between Bandera and 281. And taking a look at 410 at Jackson Keller, Mike, traffic building, but still flowing well.
And you can see in the background there, and also in this picture, there's plenty of clouds out, so not really a great sunrise this morning. Temperatures are about 15 degrees warmer than what they were yesterday morning. A lot more humidity. We keep all the humidity around today, a high of 90, so you're definitely going to feel it. And wind out of the southeast at 15 to 20. And then rain later on tonight. And some of those thunderstorms in the hill country could be on the strong to potentially severe side. And this is going to be between, say, dinner time and midnight approximately. And then as we go into the next few days, temperatures slow decline throughout the week and at least a shot at rain each and every day.
Thank you, guys. Hey, everybody, thanks for letting us start your day.
Yes, happy Monday. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here at 9.